guys, welcome to Tomatoes, Puppies, and Everything Gardening. I'm Heather, and real quick today, actually, it's going to be super fast because I'm making a huge mess and my husband will be home soon and I'm supposed to be cooking Thanksgiving dinner. But this guy, this tomato plant, I brought him indoors from outside. I started this plant from seed on the back deck in a small little pot in July. And he wasn't quite ready to produce, so I actually just brought him in the house, and you can see it has actual fruits on it. So it is living and doing well until about a week ago. And I know this is a really small pot, and I'm starting to see signs that it's not happy. So it's been dropping leaves. I'm starting to see some like air roots on the stems starting to develop, and I just think he needs a bigger pot. So I was very fortunate that my oldest daughter bought me this beautiful new pot as a gift, and I really love it. And so I'm going to put this dwarf tomato into this new pot. I'm basically going to just try to keep the root ball intact, lift it. I've been going around the edges with a knife, try to loosen it up. Just going to drop the entire root ball directly into the bottom of the pot. There is a very small layer, maybe like 1.5 inches of new soil down at the bottom, and I'm going to drop him into the new pot and probably may cut this sucker here off, and I would say we'll get at least 6 more inches of root under the soil level, which is great for tomatoes to bury them deep. I'm going to do the same stuff I would do outdoors if I was planting a tomato seedling. I'm going to bury it as deep as I can, and I'll hope for the best. That's pretty much all you can do with tomatoes, right? No, I'm just kidding. I think tomatoes are great, and I've loved having this guy in the house. Every day I will go over and I'll rub the stem, and then I'll smell the essential oil of the tomato plant, which makes me very, very happy. So you guys can watch me do that if you want to. I did want to show you what the fruit looks like. This is called Tasmanian chocolate. It's a dwarf plant. I think I bought the seeds from, I'll link it below. I'll look in my email and look through the orders and see. But this is a typical size of the fruit. I actually have another one I just sliced up. I'm going to try it for the very first time. The fruit was green from another plant probably about, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago. I picked the fruits from that plant and brought them inside. They were totally green but shiny, and they have finally ripened. So we get to try that. So here's a slice. Never, ever, ever tried this tomato before. Tasmanian chocolate. So let's see. And it's supposed to be kind of like a orange, red, brown color. It's good. It's slightly different than what I was thinking. It doesn't have that really pungent tomato flavor, but it's good. It's almost a little bit slightly different. It's juicy. Maybe just very slightly mealy, but not bad. And I didn't put salt. Sorry. I didn't put any salt or pepper. It's a good tomato. So if I continue to develop fruits and get indoor tomatoes from this indoor plant experiment, I will let you guys know. Well, it looks like I do have some blossoms up there. So I have been occasionally tapping the blossoms just to make sure it is, you know, doing its thing there with the fertilization. Okay, so I'm just going to get busy now. If you guys want to continue to watch, you can. And I'll explain what I'm doing. I think I've already told you pretty much everything I'm going to do, though. So let's see how this works out. I'm kind of nervous about trying to lift this. Yeah, that's probably not going to go too well. And I've got some dog puppy pads here on the counter because I figured I would be making a big mess. I'm supposed to be cooking. I think I already told you that. But the way my mind works, when I'm procrastinating, I will go do other things that I've been procrastinating doing, which was taking care of this guy. This needed to get done. And I started with my pantry a couple days ago, and I finally finished the pantry. Totally redid everything, organized, decluttered. I started with every other cabinet in the kitchen. So I've got everything out on the counters. Well, not everything. A lot of stuff on the counters. And I need to finish that job too before I can start cooking for Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is tomorrow. So I'm kind of getting to that deadline pinch, which I've kind of always worked well under pressure. I used to be a pediatric emergency room nurse, and I seemed to always do best when I was totally under pressure. So I think sometimes I purposely self-impose real strict deadlines on myself for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm sure it's a flaw. I don't know if this is going to work. I did wet the soil, but I should have actually soaked it for a really long time. And these roots, uh-oh. I just cleaned the counters too. Okay, here we go. All right. So I'm going to try to spread these roots out. Get this guy as deep as I possibly can. And as y'all know, tomato plants are very, very, very forgiving. I have transplanted some, gosh, several times during one season outdoors. I just decide it needs another pot, and I move it to another pot. I think I may leave these guys attached. Now, I don't prune my determinate tomatoes, which this guy is a determinate tomato, very much, if at all. There is a sucker on here, though, right here. I'm thinking about cutting that and just see if I can get it to root, and then maybe by the time this guy is dying out, this little sucker, if it takes, will be big enough to grow and hopefully give me some tomatoes this winter. Okay, so I think this is as deep as I'm going to be able to get this guy. So I'm just going to start filling with some dirt. I think I'll leave all this old soil here and do something else with that outdoors and put all new soil in. Because I'm sure it needs some food at this point. And this potting soil does have fertilizer. I do try to use organic soil or potting mix with food items, food plants. I mean, not always. It just depends. It depends on what's available, what I can afford that day. But I do try. I just happened to be at the garden center last week when I was picking up those hardy hibiscus on clearance. And so I grabbed a big bag of this. And I'm glad I did, because this pot is really taking up a lot of soil. So before I move this, I'm going to wet it really well and let it drain a bit. And then I will be putting a drain tray underneath, which I have one right here under this pot. And I will be putting this tomato right back where it came from, which is in my bay kitchen window. And it does have a grow light, so it gets 6 to 8 hours of grow light, and then also direct sunlight from my bay window pretty much all day. Alright guys, well, I think that's it. I think I'm going to end the video so I can wet what soil I have in here. I'm about maybe 6 inches full of soil now. I'll wet this, and then I will continue to backfill, and then maybe once I get another 4 inches in, I'll wet it again, and then continue to fill probably up into about 1 inch from the rim of this pot. So maybe I'll post some pictures in a week or two and let you know how this guy is doing. He definitely needed to be transplanted. I've never successfully grown an indoor tomato plant all winter, So I'm very hopeful this time. So wish me luck. And you guys have a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you soon. Bye.